Good evening. Sorry about that. I was just about to say I was too distracted by Aaron Streck's stand-up there.
Well, hard not to be. You got the white glove and the pink shirt.
I was so entranced with him throwing that ball.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been to the Service Sports Center, seen a lot of baseball going on indoors.
Yes, hopefully they will have a chance to get on the diamond soon if the weather warms up. That's where you come in, Gerard.
Yep. We're trying to get it to warm up, but I tell you, we got, well, from yesterday, you got the sense that it's really getting a little chilly here, and folks have been talking about that all day. So that the wind gusts is really what has done us in. It started on the overnights. The forecast was holding for possibly some rain and possibly some light flurries. We saw some of it today. Let's see what we're dealing with right about now. +1 is where we're sitting at. 64% is that humidity. The winds out of the north-northwest at 13 kilometers an hour. And let's compare with what's happening in the lakeland. They've enjoyed the better of the sunshine for most of it. The Battlefords, you guys have had basically the overcast conditions, and well, we had some of the lightest of flakes ever coming down. A little snow as well just after 1 o'clock too. What are we dealing with later on? Will those wind chills stay with us? Will the wind gusts stay with us later on? We'll chat a bit about that more in our second segment. And that's a first look at the weather.
A car crash stopped traffic on 62nd Avenue and 53rd Street today. The two-vehicle collision happened around 1:30 this afternoon. Ambulance and police quickly arrived on the scene. Luckily, both drivers walked away with only minor injuries. The investigation is still ongoing, but so far no traffic charges have been laid. A police officer in the Battlefords is recovering after being bitten by a drunken man. RCMP were called to a bar fight in North Battleford shortly after midnight this morning. One member arrived, but the fight between a patron and an employee was over. The patron, however, was still at the bar and intoxicated. The man was identified as Elvis Stone and was wanted on several outstanding warrants for his arrest. The officer then tried to arrest Stone but was assaulted and bitten several more times before members arrived to help with the arrest. The assaulted officer was taken to hospital and treated for injuries. 30-year-old Stone is charged with several offenses, including mischief and resisting arrest. Well, it's hard not to notice the abundance of sand on the streets right now in the border city. Jack Haskins tells us of how the dusty roads are not just a nuisance for drivers, but can also be a major problem for those who suffer from allergies.
It's that time of year where nearly all of the snow has melted, and the city is jumping on the opportunity to clean up the streets.
Well, city crews have started the annual process of doing the street cleaning. It's a little early in the year, but we wanted to get out there and start working and getting the bulk of the dust and gravel removed.
The city uses around 4,000 tons of sand every winter on the streets, and they're hoping to get a little cooperation from the weather to ensure that the process goes smoothly.
In order for our sweepers to be effective, we have to be into positive temperatures, and typically at some point we do start running in the evening and overnight, and we have to wait until temperatures are above 0 to be able to do that.
The dust kicked up from those street sweepers can be extremely irritating for allergy sufferers.
The roads are so dusty if you live in town. Shower when you come in if you're suffering. It'll make a huge difference. Keep your windows closed. Everybody loves to get the windows open this time of year to get that fresh air, but it's just bringing in the mold and the dust and things like that. So, try to minimize your exposure right now as much as you'd like to be out till we get that good first rain, as we get the streets clean, things like that.
Hines offers some advice for those feeling the ill effects of the dusty conditions.
If you're not sure what to do and you're just starting to have some of these symptoms, there are things you can do before you see your physician. There's antihistamines you can get, there's saline nasal sprays you can use, and what you would do would depend on your symptoms. So you can stop by at the pharmacy. If we're unable to help or you're unable to get resolution, you can always go see your physician as well, because there are prescription versions as well in case you're really, really sensitive.
City officials hope to have the majority of the streets cleaned up within 3 weeks. They would also like to encourage residents not to park on roads that are being swept. Jack Haskins, Newcap News.
Yesterday, a neighborhood in Regina was evacuated after a house exploded. Luckily, the occupants of the house suffered only minor injuries. The explosion follows on the heels of two similar incidents in eastern Canada last week, prompting some to be concerned for their own safety. Jacob Zaire reports.
This was the scene in Regina yesterday as firefighters brought a series of fires under control. The blazes started Sunday, and then early Monday morning, this house exploded, causing another fire. The cause, according to Sask Energy and the Regina Fire Department, was a natural gas leak. While this was an extreme, rare event attributed to ground shifting rupturing a buried line, there are a few things homeowners can do to ensure their home is safe.
We recommend that they do get their appliances inspected annually from a qualified professional. Check their gas lines to make sure there's no uncapped connections from a previous gas appliance.
The other common cause of ruptured lines happens semi-regularly around this time each year, but is mostly preventable.
With spring coming now, you get new residential neighborhoods where people are going to be building fence and, drilling post holes in the grounds. The big thing there is to make sure you get line locates done.
ATCO Gas will send workers to any property free of charge to map out exactly where those gas lines are.
If they're digging outside for some home projects, whether disturbing the soil or even driving in stakes, we ask them to call Alberta One Call.
Because natural gas is colorless and odorless, the company adds an odorant to it so it can be easily detected. And if you smell rotten eggs in your house, it's best to try and get out quickly as it can be set off very easily.
Slamming of a door, opening of a door, you get more metal parts scraping together. Anything could create a ignition source.
Not operate any electrical devices, including light switches or cell phones, for example, and just actually go to a neighbor's place and call either 911 or they could call our emergency phone number.
ATCO regularly inspects lines to ensure integrity, but should anything happen, they do have an emergency response on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. For more information, you can visit their website. Jacob Zaire, Newcap News.
In just over a week, Lloydminster Comprehensive High School students will be showing off their best at the Regional Skills Competition in Vermilion. With 3 hours to complete a task, the setting is reality TV style all the way for students in trades and technology programs. Kathy Lee reports.
These students aren't just welding, cooking, and drawing floor plans for credit. They're preparing for the Regional Skills Competition on the 21st.
We put 3 boxes together and put it on a platform. There's a whole bunch of different welds, verticals, downward welds, everything.
On top of schoolwork, they've been putting in lunch and after-school hours to get ready.
In class, we're designing houses and taking floor plans, or taking what a family needs in order to meet their housing needs or whatever, and making houses.
It'll be an experience students feel will help their careers after high school.
I want to see how I kind of rate against other students, and I kind of want a chance to do it in a more realistic kind of situation.
And teachers say it'll be a taste of what work is like in these industries.
This experience puts them in the spot. They're making their decisions for themselves, how they're going to prepare and present this meal.
This puts them in a sort of a real world experience, and they're judged by people in the trades, and it rewards them for their excellence.
The competition doesn't stop at regionals. Students who place first or second in their category will qualify for provincials, and those that place first at provincials will move on to nationals at the end of May. Kathy Lee, Newcap News.